Calling all units, calling all units. Donut Shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
So, heck, we like to toast before every show. Salute, then it's an awkward silence for people listening in the car, like, hey, where'd they go? Where'd they go?
That's why we got to make a lot of noise when you clink the glasses so they know that that was a toast.
And I offset my drinking. So you guys drink, and I continue to talk. Then he drinks, and then I drink, then he talks. So it's a little tag team action.
Teaching a lot of the magic.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages listening to the Donut Shop podcast on their phone, in their car, while they're sitting on a break, on the toilet seat, wherever you're listening to this, welcome back. We have our first guest of season, Dose. I like to call it Dose. We're just going to get right into it because this guy is a wealth of knowledge. If you're looking at him by looks, you might know who he is. If you, First 48, correct?
Correct.
He was on the First 48.
Ooh.
He's also a legend when it comes to crime scene investigations in the South Florida, and as I'm knowing now, the national level. Are you worldwide? Do people know you? Oh, yeah, worldwide, international.
I hope so.
No, you went and had I heard with Freddie working in Brazil, no?
I went with
Thompson, okay.
Went to Brasilia.
There you go.
With the State Department.
So,
Nice.
with that being said, he's worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce a friend of the show. Now you guys are going to become his friend, Hector Infante.
Great to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like that intro?
That was amazing.
Yeah. I'm going to let you give your credentials because who knows them better.
Well, it's season 2, so things are going to change. Maybe we won't introduce ourselves at the beginning of every show, which I'm completely fine with.
If they need to know who we are, they can go back and watch
Yeah,
season 1.
It's season 2, so they know who we are.
So I'm going to push the mic up a little bit. we got to get it close. They want to hear the inner thoughts while you're breathing.
Rub
What's
the
going on?
mustache hairs on.
That could be scary.
So go ahead, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you retired from a City of Miami Police Department.
That's right.
So you can start off how many years you worked, what was your position, and what you're currently doing now.
I started as a young kid, 19 years old, as a public service aide. And then I got promoted to crime scene. I ended up going to blood spatter analysis school. I'm a forensic artist.
19 years old, and I don't want to give away your age, but what year?
Were you in?
What year? Do I have to pull out the calculator?
You might need to pull up
La
the calculator.
calculadoras.
Yeah. Well, I was just turning 20, 1985.
Ooh, I was 3.
Yeah.
Thanks. At least you were born. Not like
Likewise.
some of these
Yeah.
younger
Yeah.
members that are telling me, oh, you
19
were around back then?
1985. So you saw, I think you saw the Al Pacinos, and you saw the Scarface.
Yeah, I came in during the tail end of the Cocaine Cowboys.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you saw some, as we like to say, anything that you could say in Avengers, you could say here on the podcast. So you saw some shit.
I saw some shit.
Yeah.
Corpses in cars and garbage cans and bags. We were close to 200 murders a year.
Ooh, mayhem.
So
You would be handling one scene, and you could hear the other shooting going on. And it was just a matter of time. You were waiting for patrol as you're
call.
handling your scene, and there comes the call.
wow. That's
We handled 3 murders in 8 hours one day. Got to the station, looked at each other, and said, "What the hell happened?"
wow. Separate, obviously.
3 separate scenes.
Wow.
The 80s. In
Related,
Miami.
you think? Were they?
No.
Unrelated.
Unrelated.
That's even worse.
The medical examiner was too busy with the county murders that couldn't even come to our murders.
Oh my God. So it might be typical to work one scene, right? And then the retaliation of that scene is happening somewhere else. That might be a typical.
It could happen.
Yeah,
yes.
that could be a typical thing. But in this case, to have individual unrelated scenes, these things were out of control back then.
We had the evidence of one. We were driving diplomats.
Ah.
We had the evidence of one in the trunk, the evidence of the second in the back seat, and the evidence of the third in the floorboard in the front where I was sitting. It was before we had all the technology we had now, so it was quick.
Yeah.
But we got to the station. We just looked at each other with this blank look at the end of the shift, like, what happened?
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
That is that's some stuff. So if that's just a little, you're just getting a little preview of what's to come in this podcast. We're going to talk about first and foremost we talked about your experience, but we want to talk about how do you become a crime scene investigator. I have to be careful of the way I say it. because at one point in our careers crossed paths in the cafeteria line, and I messed up. I done messed up and said the wrong name, and I almost got backhanded and corrected by this man right here, this legend. It would have been an honor, sir,
I'm not
to
a
be
violent
corrected.
person, but I can't get away with it.
He's far enough away from you right now. What did you call him?
I don't even. I'm nervous to say it. I don't even want to say it, but he could tell the story behind it and why it was in the short.
Very short.
Yeah.
When I came on, we were known as ID techs, identification technicians,
Yeah.
right? Which came from the 70s. Mm-hmm. It took a long time and several television shows for us to be able to change our name to crime scene investigators.
Yeah.
And we were very proud of that.
Yeah.
So he comes up and he goes, ID techs, huh?
Yeah.
What? Nah.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Basically, I just did. I'm like, just a little rookie,
It was
booger
one
nose
I was
rookie.
measuring him for a body bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, the ID techs, and then I just felt this presence. I look over, and the eyes were big. That stare
Yeah.
that you're about to get your whooping.
Laser beams.
Yeah, you're about to get a whooping.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I said that wrong. He's like, no, it's crime scene investigators, and then several years later, now he's on the podcast.
Never made
And
the
I'm still
mistake again.
I'm still nervous. I'm not gonna lie. So we started out as a PSA, right? 1985. I was 3, and then you got a promotion to crime scene investigator.
Correct.
I know that the PSA, public service aid position, is a civilian held position. Is a crime scene investigator a civilian held position?
For the city of Miami and in South Florida for the most part. Miami-Dade Police was a sworn position, a detective position, and
Right.
now they're starting to civilianize and slowly transitioning. Difference, as a police officer, you could get tired, transfer to mounted.
Yeah.
Go ride a horse,
Right.
go ride a motorcycle.
Yeah.
All the training went away.
Or go to
Gone.
social media or something.
All social media. As a civilian, that's where I was born. That's where I'm going to die.
Nice.
You can train me all you want. And the knowledge stays there. The experience stays there.
Yeah. So now you went over, right? You got promoted. So
Right.
what credentials do you need to get promoted? What do you have to go to school? Is there a degree that you have to hold? What is it that you need? Because I know.
Depends on the agency.
Okay, go.
Miami,
Just bring this mic a little bit. I think we're.
most
you can
agencies,
Pull it back if you need it.
most agencies,
Yeah.
it's experience or education,
Uh-huh.
right? Or both. So I'm now with a different police department, and they required experience. So I showed up with 34 years of experience.
That's what I was gonna say. So you did 34 years in Miami. How did you leave? What title? I know you were.
I was the unit supervisor, which is the unit commander,
Yes.
which is the equivalent to a police lieutenant.
Yeah. So you were the man.
I retired. I bought a Corvette,
Hey.
Stingray, from factory, and I toured the country. I went to 32 states.
Wow.
I was traveling, and the city of Miami called and said, "We want you back as a part-time instructor." That Corvette couldn't get back fast enough. I love what I do.
Yeah.
Vroom.
And I did 3 years of like an FTO, field training officer, but with the new CSIs.
Yeah.
And I needed medical insurance. And the local agency called and said, "Hey, we're looking for experience, and you're it."
Nice.
So I'm there now.
So you went now you hold more or less the same position over there?
I came in as a rookie,
Hey.
entry level.
Yeah. Did you
But
play?
now, just 2 years later, I'm the acting supervisor when he's on vacation.
Okay. I was gonna say, did you come in as hey, show me what you know type of guy? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there were 2 CSIs that I trained at the city.
Oh, okay.
So when I came on, I said, "You're senior to me. I'm your rookie." And
Yeah.
he looked at me and said, "You're never going to be our rookie."
Yeah.
Hey, it is really kind of like last season when we had Delrish Moss. It's once a chief, always a chief. So
Delrish
once,
Moss and I went through the same PSA academy.
Hey,
Whoa.
Amazing person.
Yeah, great guy.
Sorry, Delrish. We didn't mean to reveal the age.
Yeah.
we did.
Well, he said it.
No, I-
Yeah, he said it. So you were coming up with Delrish through those years. So he
Yes.
spoke about those years and how it was a little intense those years. So you were there processing scenes.
Yeah. So as a public service aide, I processed scenes. When I became a crime scene investigator, Delrish was also just going into homicide. We worked many scenes together, including
wow,
with
yeah.
Freddie.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Including
Look at
with Freddie.
Freddie. He was a little baby Freddie back then.
Baby Freddy.
I don't think
Before
it
he
was,
became a TV star.
yeah, I don't think it was ever Baby Freddy. Well, and he's a TV star too.
Yeah.
You ever get recognized the first 48?
Yeah, I have. You know what? Being in the profession that we're at, when you're off duty and you get recognized, yeah, it's a little scary because you're kind of wondering, is that a good guy or a bad guy?
Yeah.
It is weird. It is weird getting
Nick
recognized.
is a star.
No,
I would love to be like you.
Yeah, right. That's funny because like Ruggiero and all these guys, you know, these big names that were in the first 48, and they're like, "No, you're the guy." I'm like, "Get out of here, get out of here!" You're not. You, yeah. I go. Hey, you know what I mean? I'm the breakdancing guy. So we're talking about now civilian position being held, right? Formal education, just some certificates or certification courses that we have to complete.
Yes. I have, as of today,
Yeah.
over 1,500 hours of training.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Part of that was the National Forensic Academy that I went a little later in my career.
Yeah.
Amazing experience. And the thing, and I know you guys know this, when you go to training, it's the networking that you can do afterwards as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So I know a few guys that I can call and say, this is what I have.
Yeah.
Or they call me, this is what I have, what will you do? And we bounce ideas off each other. So I came on as a crime scene investigator because of the experience I had as a public service aide, as a PSA. I was processing my own burglary scenes for latents. And that gave me the experience.
They still do that, right? Non-criminal, not non-criminal, non-violent scenes.
Non-violent scenes.
Non-violent scenes.
Correct.
So
Yeah,
Because-
it's a good way. It's a good way to jump, and it's not something. I mean, was it something that you were focused on, or you were just, hey, service aide, I'm going to do my good job doing this, but this is interesting to me, or
Yeah, what was-
or like 15-year-old you was like, man, when I'm old enough, I'm gonna, and this is the first job I got, and you know.
At the risk of you guys messing with me.
yeah,
Okay.
you want to be a fireman.
No.
All right, well, then you're good.
You're
then
fine.
you're good.
That's about
then
the
you're
worst
good.
thing you could say.
No, I don't. I'm a big black and white movie fan.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. With the
Yeah.
fedora.
Yeah.
And I love the old police dramas.
Yeah,
And Dragnet.
you got me.
I'll send you a clip one day.
Okay.
And I love the scenes where the detectives were there, and what did they say? Call the lab out. Call the crime lab boys. Mm-hmm. And they show up with their old Polaroid that they had to lick the bulb and plug it in.
Yeah.
Poof, right? And they would always solve the crime. And I was listening to Dragnet on the radio yesterday. On the radio,
Oh, I was gonna say transistor
on
radio
satellite
now.
radio.
Okay.
Satellite radio.
Okay, well,
Classics.
I don't know what was going on there.
And the forensic guy solved the case.
There you go.
And I was, and that caught my attention. So I ended up moving down from the New York, New Jersey area.
Hey, what part?
I was born in Manhattan.
All right.
And then we lived in Union City, in the Jersey side.
All right.
My
Families
dad
from
worked in Manhattan.
families from Rahway, New Jersey,
Rahway.
by the
Yeah,
prison.
I've been to Rahway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the prison? Because there's a big prison over
No,
there.
not in the prison. No, not there. But so I come down here.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a job.
Yeah.
And I applied for public service aid, and I wanted to get into forensics, and I got into it accidentally.
Ah.
So imagine getting into what you want to do by mistake.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And it worked out.
Nice.
It worked out for me. I went up through the ranks, and I've been a certified instructor since '91, I think.
Woo.
You know, blood spatter, forensic art.
I was 9.
You know,
Let me push this closer.
the longer I'm here, the older I feel.
yeah.
Pointing
I'm
that out.
I'm aging here. I'm aging
So
here.
91, you become an instructor, right?
And I was teaching at the academy for a while.
At the police academy.
The police academy.
Nice.
The crime scene investigation portion.
Yeah. Still,
you get.
still present in this day. Have to do
Yeah.
a portion on that. Nice, man.
Yeah.
So, which leads me to this question. You are not armed, right? Correct.
Correct. I'm not.
You
was.
were.
Okay. Before your time, when you were still 3.
Yeah, I was 3. Yeah.
When we came on, we were special officers, and we were armed.
Okay.
We carried the old 38 Special Smith & Wesson Model 64. We had to qualify and everything with it. When the laws changed in Florida, they created the carry conceal. They took the guns away from us. Gave us bulletproof vests with a target on the back. No, I'm only kidding. And the ASP,
Oh yeah, I was
we, were
going to
supposed
ask
to,
you.
we were supposed to hit the bullets as
Yeah.
they shot.
Pew, 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 pew,
Yeah.
like Star Wars.
Good
And then later the OC spray.
Oh, okay.
Wow. So okay, so in the 80s, so the law changed and made it a concealed weapons type thing. So you guys weren't allowed to. You were underneath like the guise of like an open carry law that was allowed to be because
Before the permit, we were
Right.
deputized
Oh, okay.
by the chief of
Okay.
police. We were considered special officers.
Okay.
And in fact, our ID cards in the back said special officer, no arrest powers.
Right. So that's where I was going to
No
go. So
arrest
you had no
powers.
actual
Yeah.
legal way to arrest somebody, but
But
you were
it
able
was
to defend
It
yourself.
was the wild, wild west. It was
Yeah.
It
back
was.
then.
Yeah,
So
we pulled it out more than once.
wow.
yeah. So
Thank
oh
God
really?
we never had a discharge.
Yeah.
Really?
But yeah, we pulled that out a few times.
That's crazy. So which leads me to my next question. So you're on a scene, right? And all of a sudden, the bad guy shows back up. Now, when you're on a scene, is there a point where you're going to be by yourself, or is there always going to be an officer there?
Do you know in Miami?
In anywhere.
Well, in Miami, you're pretty much on your own.
Okay.
If you want, you can request a patrol unit to back you up.
Right.
Where I'm at now, they have to wait for me.
Okay.
So there's always a uniform there or an investigator with me.
All right.
Okay, but yeah, I've had them come back.
Right. So
And
even
it
if you
creates excitement.
Yeah.
Even if you're going to a scene to pull some prints for, to
Burglary or something.
differentiate or whatever, the word just escaped me. But you got to go pull some prints. You're pulling a officer with you of some sorts. Yeah.
So
Yeah, he's waiting for us. He'll request in a burglary, and then when you pull up, he's there.
Yeah.
see, that's what I want to get at. So tell me, let me know some of your what happened there, man. Give me one. I know there's probably several times.
Do you know what? Being a nice guy.
Yeah, you're a
Right.
nice guy.
Thank you.
I learned that in the lunch line.
I saw a 3-car accident right in front of me, I-95 by the Rickenbacker.
Okay.
So, in my Diplomat, put on our lights because we had the dash lights, get there to see if anybody needed help. What happened is, 2 young guys are flirting with 2 girls in a different car, and here comes 2 old ladies in their car.
Uh huh.
They all touch. Big 3-car accident.
Yeah.
Lady gets out, yells at the kid. A lot of descriptive
Okay.
wording.
The young or the older?
The old lady
Okay.
to the young kid, to
Okay.
the boy.
Okay.
Boy calls her a bitch.
Uh huh. So more descriptive than a bitch.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Just making
yeah.
sure.
He comes at her to attack her. And I get in the middle, and he says, "What are you doing?" And I said, "You can't hit her." And he pushes me.
Uh-oh.
I push him back.
Uh-huh.
He pushed me again. I got him a radio, asked for backup.
Uh-huh.
Next thing you know, him and I are wrestling in the middle of I-95 with cars passing by us. FHB gets it. Goes, what's going on? There must have been like 10 cruisers at that time.
Yeah.
You know, I went to court. This is back late 80s.
Uh-huh.
Went to court, and the judge looked at me and said, "You know the risk of your job," and let the kid go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that would fly these days.
No.
But
And
That's a
one
good-
more that you're going to enjoy.
Give
I was
me.
with a retired sergeant who's a chief now with another agency.
all right, I'll try to figure it out. But go ahead.
And we were on Flagler and 8. And the description, and we were just packing up. We were done with our homicide scene, and we're just talking, like we're talking now.
Yeah.
And I see a truck across the street, and I go, "What was the description of the offender?" He said, "Silver truck with glasses." Across the street, there's a silver truck with glasses. I go, "Like that one?" He was watching us,
Yeah.
armed and drunk.
Wow.
He was taken down with that incident, but when they say that they're watching you, that they come back to the scene
Right.
of the
The
crime,
scene of the crime. Yeah.
they do.
Really?
Yes, that's why we take crowd shots.
Oh, so your offender could be sitting there on the outside of the yellow tape, and you'll just.
It's happened to me several times where in the photographs they go, there it is, and you try to be discreet in your photos.
I was gonna say, like, so how do you do that? You just walk around. Oh, I'm just test shots.
There's yes.
Because I do that a lot. Checking my exposure.
Well,
exposure.
if you want to be discreet, yes.
Yeah.
If you want to clear the crowd, you put on your flash and you go out there and you start photographing the crowd, and it's like when you turn on the lights and the roaches disappear.
Yeah.
Yes.
I used to do that when I was working at the school and outside during dismissal. Like all the kids would be fighting and stuff like that, and then I'd just go pulling my phone. If they were like acting all big and tough and like, "Oh, we're not leaving," just pull the phone out. This is before we had body cams. Like, "Oh yeah, you want? I'm just gonna put you guys on here," and gone.
Yeah.
They just start running. They're like, yeah, we don't want to be on whatever your Instagram is.
Yeah,
we
Today,
just
I'm
want to be on our
photographing a scene.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even today, I'm photographing a scene, and I'll tell the people, "You sure you want to come out?" And they're standing in front of the house. Oh, and you see them running, close curtains, and
Yeah.
So you give a lot of hard times when you're out there processing a scene. You know what? Better yet, better question. Let's start so people can kind of get a.
Before we do it,
We're gonna take a break.
we'll take a break,
But
and then you can start it.
So when we come back, let's get everyone on the same page of what it is, start to finish, what a crime scene investigator will do, and we could differentiate between detective, crime scene investigator, and what is the difference between the two.
on Hollywood.
And on Hollywood. All right.
On TV.
Yes. All right. We'll be right back.
Right back. What's in the cup? Guys, what's in my cup? Blackout Coffee Company. We joined up with them. I've been drinking it and I enjoy it. And I think you may enjoy it as well. So you can go over to our website and click the link, or you can just go to their website, blackoutcoffee.com, and use our coupon code to get 10% off. The code is DSP10. So go over, check it out.
We're back.
And we're back.
And we're back. Great commercial break we just had.
Yeah.
Did you like the commercial?
Yes, I
It
did
was
very much.
great commercial. Well, why wouldn't you like the commercial? No idea what the commercial was, but it was a great commercial. Every commercial we put out on this podcast is great, guys.
Thanks for that.
Looking at you. All right, so we're gonna walk through because some people might be like trying to pick up the pieces and put it together. Like, all right, okay, we're talking about crime scene investigation. What the hell do you do? What do you do? So why don't you walk us through start to finish, and you can create your own scene and fill in the details. So we take us along and teach us. We'd like to know.
You know what? Let's handle a simple shooting.
Simple shooting.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Patrol gets a shot spotter call,
Okay.
and we respond out there to find casings.
Mm-hmm.
So when I get to the scene, it should be already secured.
Okay.
Crime scene tape, uniform officers. Okay.
So secured meaning there's no active scene going on. The officers have most safety under control on a scene, and it's safe for you guys to respond.
Correct.
Okay. Just
And there's
clarifying.
no traffic either.
Okay. Perfect.
There's no people, pedestrian, bicyclists, cars, nothing.
All right.
We also, it's not only you're protecting the evidence, you're protecting yourself. You don't want to get hit by a car,
Yes.
and you don't want somebody just walking in on you either. So we have casings on the scene. So when I show up, we take general photographs. Photographs of the air, photographs of the evidence with nothing added. Then we put our numbered cones down. Then we try to put the numbered cones down according to caliber.
Ah.
So not too long ago, I had 14 9mm, so 1 through 14. And then 15 through 26 were 223s,
Rifle rounds.
rifle rounds. But that way it's easier when you're talking about them. I can say 1 through 14 were 9s.
Yeah.
So
Is there a priority to the number system? So the cones essentially. You say, okay, priority number 1 of these rounds, and then we can go to maybe blood spat, or is it just no rhyme or reason as long as it's like blood spat's going to be 5 through 10 or whatever it is?
we try to make the casings, the ballistic evidence,
Yeah.
priority.
Okay.
And then I try to do it try to group them in the number to make my storytelling of the report
Yes.
easier.
Okay.
Then after that, we can go to the cell phone that fell on the ground, the bottle of whiskey that we found there.
Hey.
Hey. And we can go on like that. And I can have an evidence list of 200 items easy, including DNA swabs and everything we do later. So after we photograph that, in general again, because you take 3 types of photographs. Your overall,
Right.
your medium that shows not the relationship of the evidence within itself, and then your close-up to show the evidence
Okay.
of what it is, so you know what number 1 is. So we finish with that, pick up the casings, we put them in individual boxes, so we know which one is number 1, which one is number 2.
Really?
Yeah.
So
So imagine if you have 200
100.
rounds.
Yeah, I was gonna say 100 rounds, 100 boxes.
Crime scene investigation is expensive.
Yeah.
It's not cheap. Between
Yeah.
the gloves, the bags, the pill boxes, the Tyvek suits,
Yeah.
everything, it gets expensive. Very expensive unit to run. So we take them back to the station, and we try to process them for prints. It's hard getting prints off of spent casing.
Right.
Think about it. It discharged, that explosion, that heat,
Yeah.
and then it bounced and landed. It's hard.
Yeah.
If we got lanes, awesome. If not, then we swab them for DNA.
Did you say lanes?
Latents.
Latents. Correct.
Fingerprints.
Yeah, I thought you were doing some slang.
That might
like
be enough. Not enough coffee in my life right now.
lanes, like lanes of the fingerprint. Okay, I don't know. I was just trying to be cool. All right. Yeah. Latents. Yeah.
Hidden prints,
All right.
or not visible to the naked eye.
Okay.
So hopefully you have something. So then DNA, we swab the same caliber with one swab because it's so little DNA on it that you want to pick up a lot of it
Right.
and build it up. And then you hope you get a hit. Then we send the case in to NIBIN. NIBIN is the National Integrated Ballistic Identification Network.
Oh.
Try saying that
Yeah.
after a few drinks.
With that being said, I'm not going to even try.
And that's like the
We're
fingerprint
just moving right
identification.
along.
Yeah.
So a lot of acronyms, guys, in police work. If you don't know,
Yeah.
NIBIN.
NIBIN.
But
APHIS,
he
CODIS.
picked up on that he has to explain that to us.
Yeah.
So we're going to need to know that.
Very good.
Somebody's going to ask.
Yeah, no, that's
Let's beat
it.
him to the punch.
Is it? We're talking to 3-year-olds, and when I say 3-year-olds, you're talking to me.
What is it?
Okay, just saying.
Fifth graders.
5th graders. Did I say third graders?
Yeah, third
Said
graders.
3-year-olds.
Yeah,
Yeah, because then you would be saying poo poo pee pee. We got the poo poo and the pee pee, and the
yeah. naming Disney characters.
all right. So sorry to interrupt.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
So NIBIN is like the APHIS,
Uh-huh.
automated fingerprint identification system, which is for fingerprints, obviously. So when you put it in there, it compares it and see if that gun has been used anywhere else.
Nice.
So imagine you're City of Miami. You
Yep.
put it in. A couple of days, it's like 72 hours. They tell you, hey, this gun was used in, let's pick cities, Hollywood, and New York, and Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So now, imagine your investigation just grew,
Yeah.
Got real big, yeah.
got real big because somebody's traveling with this gun.
Yeah. And they might have, you contact those agencies, and they'll have their own case files and things they're working.
Yeah.
So
Maybe you have a common denominator between all of them.
yeah. So now you run through the casing. What about the collection and the process afterwards? Because I know there's you take it back to the lab, and there's different tools that you guys have over there.
Well, the latent processing and the swabbing.
Yeah.
Now, this bloody clothing.
That's what I was getting at.
Now, let's bloody clothing. I got a great story for this.
Here we
okay?
go.
Yeah.
We like great stories.
So in this investigation, they take the bloody clothing, and it had to be rushed to the lab. This is back again in the late 80s. You have to dry anything wet.
Yeah.
We're in South Florida. You go to the beach, you forget that towel in your bag. A couple of days later, you open the bag.
yeah.
Stinks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It clears your sinuses a little, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to dry it.
Yeah.
This clothing wasn't dried enough. So I picked up the clothing, and back then we had the Reliant K car. Okay?
The what?
Oh, the Reliant. Yeah, it's a
Reliant
yeah,
K
it's a-
car.
It was a Dodge, I think.
It was Dodge.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Dodge or
Reliant.
Plymouth,
Yeah.
something like that.
Reliant.
Yeah,
that,
do my
man.
job, and I'll
It was
pull
a
it up.
little. It was a little 4-door, 4-cylinder car.
Yeah.
It didn't last with us a year.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So they tell me, check out the boxes of clothing and take it to the lab. They need to analyze them.
There you go. There you go, Nick.
Oh, okay.
You see
Perfect. There it is.
It was a
So I
Reliant.
picked them up.
4-door sedan.
I was 4 years old when that car was. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I think another gray hair just popped out of my beard. I'm not sure.
So-
and they probably didn't make Matchbox cars out of it.
So they get
I'm
so
sure they didn't. It was the size of a matchbox.
so you get the clothes.
I
The
take
not.
the boxes
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
are not fully dry,
Yeah.
put them up against me, several boxes. I put them on the front passenger seat of that car.
Yeah.
I drive to the lab. Now, this is back when the lab used to be the public defender building on 14th Street.
Okay.
That used to be the crime lab.
All right.
So I pull up, I look to the passenger seat, and all the maggots had come out and had covered the entire seat.
Oh.
And I looked at this, and I went inside, and I told them, I got a little problem. Maybe you guys can help me. And I told them, they came out with bags, and we had to scoop up these maggots.
Is that part of the evidence now? The maggots?
No.
Because they
No.
don't have some kind of no.
No. Only certain maggots eat human flesh. Not all maggots do.
So what maggots are essentially fly babies, no? Like little larva
And
flies.
They were eating away on that clothing.
Oh, they're eating clothing. Blah.
So they came in, you know how they kill them? They just put them in the freezer.
Freeze maggots.
Freeze maggots.
Huh.
Now, the way I mess with my rookies and observers,
Uh-huh.
when we got a body and the maggots are just pouring out, I tell them, doesn't that look like fried rice?
Oh, and that.
So now you processed the scene, right? You took it back. You dried out the clothes. Yes.
Yes.
Because there's actually we have a dryer oven thing.
Yeah, it's, it looks like an armoire. and it has a filtration system. It's made out of PVC.
Okay.
So when you put the stuff in there, it filters the air and it's constantly drying. Unlike when I started, that we had a shower stall.
Ah.
And we used to hang the stuff there. That was before HIV.
Oh my God.
Because when HIV came out, we didn't even know how you caught HIV at one point.
Like
so
COVID.
This stuff would just be hanging there, dripping, just with a piece of butcher paper covering it. And then we would hose off the shower later.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So then somebody came up, some genius, somebody sitting in some island right now with his pina colada or something, said, why don't I make a closet on wheels that filters the air
Ah.
and has constant,
Kind of cleans it. Yeah.
and it dries it out for you.
Okay, so we dried it out. Then once we dry it out, are we taking samples then, or we already took the samples?
No, what we're gonna do is, and I learned this quite a few years ago working cold case DNA.
Mm-hmm.
You can still collect DNA from clothing. Okay? So imagine I was working a case from the 1970s, cold case, and we were able to take DNA from the collar, armpit areas, your underwear, to identify people.
Right.
So if you and I are struggling and I grab onto your shirt, you can get my DNA off of your shirt.
Uh-huh.
So we can send the clothing to the lab for foreign DNA. We can send it for powder pattern, meaning if you get shot, they can determine by the stippling on your clothing how far the shooter was, up to only a few feet.
Right.
After that, you can't.
Right.
But the powder will be on you. So what they'll do is they'll take a gun, and they're shooting the gun and try to get how big of a spread in X amount of distance, and then they compare it to your clothing.
Oh, so
And
you
they can say he was shot from 3 feet away.
I don't want to do this, but my brain keeps telling me I need to. Dexter used to do that a lot in his lab. I'm so sorry.
This guy's living in La La Land.
My wife and I binged it. My wife and I binged it during the pandemic. I'd never seen it.
I'm just kidding.
She'd seen it. But as far as an example of that, he used to do a lot of blood spatter work with different, gel bodies and all that kind of similar to what you're saying. Like they're going to set that up
Yes.
with a gun in a lab with a similar type shirt and everything and just and measure it and back it up. Okay, these work the same. For us, it was 4 feet. And here's your answer. 4
Yes,
feet.
correct.
Okay. So
Huh.
that kind of where I'm going. I'm not
So-
trying to
so
say,
the-
so you're Dexter. I just said it.
Well, when you watch the shows, how on point are they? Far-fetched?
I went to the movies one day with somebody.
Uh-huh.
I think it was with Eddie Murphy. Was it 48 Hours or something like that?
Rush Hour?
Rush Hour?
Well,
Rush Hour.
48 Hours was Eddie Murphy.
Oh, Rush Hour was
Chris
Chris
Tucker.
Tucker. Sorry. Jackie Chan.
Well,
Fried rice.
They take
Fried rice.
if I remember correctly, they take a fish tank. That's how we used to super glue things, right? With an old fish tank before the technology came up.
Right.
You put super glue, you put your item. Like these mugs are excellent, right? For super glue.
Well, thank you. You can buy those at Donut Shop Podcast.
DonutShopPodcast.com.
You got that in?
Shameless plugs.
And he puts the super glue, covers it, and when he takes it out, it was a book of matches, it comes out purple. That's a totally different process. So I'm in a movie theater getting up going, that's not how it works. And
So you're
they're
gonna have to
pulling me
leave?
down. Shut up.
You're gonna
sit
have to
down.
leave.
Yeah, sit
Yeah.
down, sit down. So I don't watch many of those shows.
Even
Even when I come out on them, I don't watch them.
what about I'm telling you, Dexter? You ever seen Dexter? No.
No.
Never seen it. Okay.
I know about the show, but
I mean, it's
haven't
about you. I mean, it's Miami.
Well, just
Miami.
CSI.
Even though it's in
yeah.
Miami Beach, but it's.
Because it's a pet peeve of mine seeing police shows and watching somebody punch somebody, or the taser is the worst. I hate when someone tases them, they're like, ah, and
No,
then
it tases him
and
with
they fall asleep.
a stun gun,
yeah.
like a Batman style stun gun, and the guy falls down and falls asleep.
Yeah, and he's out for like 3 days. Wakes up like, what happened? I'm like, bro, I don't know what kind of tasers those are, but let me
Same
get
thing,
to
and
this.
you get there. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife
Who's
is-
writing this report?
My wife always tells me, shut up. It's just a movie. I'm like, no, but that's not.
Yeah, they just property damage, car chase, property damage, crash.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's so many police reports you got to write.
There was a scene in Transformers where the guy gets tased in the nuts. And like 5 minutes after he got tased, he's still going, "Ugh," you know, and he's talking every now and then. He'd be like, "Ugh." I'm like, I don't know how true this scene is.
Or Hangover, when the cops actually let someone else
Tase him in the
guy,
face.
and it shoots him in the face.
Yeah,
All right, sorry, we could do a whole podcast on bad.
we're deviating.
movie fun.
Go ahead.
Let me give you one, though.
Okay, go.
I did consultation on a movie,
Oh,
right? Again, almost 30 years ago. I don't even remember the name of the movie, to be honest.
no.
But they came up with a burn
Obviously, it was Men in Black.
Yeah.
VHS tape.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what that is?
I know what a VH. Yeah,
Oh,
I was,
okay, no,
I was 5 when those came out. I was,
When those went away.
Another gray hair just popped out. Right? I can feel it.
no, okay, yeah,
And it was
VH.
burned. It was melted. And they
Yeah.
said, okay, how can you get prints off of this for the movie? No, you can't.
It's burned.
No, you can't.
Unless the hand's inside of the VHS tape.
So,
Is it still connected?
they had to come up with something crazy.
Wow. You remember what movie that was or no?
No, I don't remember.
I mean, at least they didn't say, okay, well, thanks, but we're gonna do it anyways.
Yeah.
I think they did at the end, and I don't even think I got credit for it. They paid me like
Chump change.
chump change and
Yeah.
told me, thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so you're coming up with the impossible.
So okay, let's dial it back, guys. Let's walk it back. All right, we were in Transformers there for a second. So we process all the evidence, right? And then you get called to court a lot to testify. I presume, no?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, because that's a big thing, evidence in court, right? Can't prove a case.
You have to, the chain of custody, meaning you need to justify every minute of existence of that piece of evidence from the moment you collect it till it gets to court. So you need to know anybody who came across it from what minute to what minute they had it. And I have to go testify on that. And just like most officers, there are weeks that you don't get out of court, and then there are months that you don't see it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, we testify. And crime scene investigators normally testify in felony court because we don't get involved in many misdemeanors.
Yeah, it's too much.
So the only time I did have to go to misdemeanor court on a battery, I was terrified. What do you do here? When I walked in, it was a madhouse.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of people.
It was a
yeah.
madhouse. I
Yeah.
was going, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I was expecting, like, people to start taking out
Yeah.
brass knuckles and stuff and start fighting. I was,
Yeah, it's like the
I was
Jerry
like-
Springer show in there.
yes,
Yeah.
I was like, get me back in felony court where it's more sane.
Yeah, yeah, it's a little wild. And I had a guy represent himself one time against me. He's like, I got this, and he stood up and started doing his. I was like, ooh, it's a whole nother story. But anyways, yeah, misdemeanor court's its own monster.
Yeah, that's a great place for people watch.
What? Oh yeah, so
Court.
yes, yeah, sitting in court. We're sitting
Just
in.
in the hallways. You could-
Yeah, I wonder what that guy's there for. Or that girl. I wonder what they did. You know.
yeah.
So you go to court, you testify. Do you ever work in however many years? Do you ever get attached to any of these cases, even though you're processing the scene and you're like, man, I wonder whatever happened to that case, or you're just a kind of profession where you're like, hey man, it's my job, move on to the next.
You know, when, we as adults, we know what we're getting our asses into.
Yeah,
I have very little sympathy, or I just move on with my life.
yeah,
It's kids. It's
Yeah.
when kids get hurt or killed, or families.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that families.
wow,
And I'm going to tell you one that I have always remembered. I was there with a veteran investigator, and it was a preemie baby, was sick, just got out of the hospital. The mother had to be 16 years old. So her mother's there,
yeah,
and the baby died overnight, came home and died that same night.
okay,
So when I get there, she has this baby wrapped in a towel, singing lullabies to it,
yeah,
with her mother holding on to her.
yeah.
And we're waiting for the wagon, which was an hour and a half away.
Oh my God,
I couldn't make eye contact with the investigator.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can even hear it in me right now.
I hear it.
We couldn't make eye contact because we were going to break down.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I don't care how big, bad you are.
No.
Oh.
And when the wagon got there, they showed up with a bag to put the baby in a bag. And I was like, go wait outside.
Yeah.
They were like, well, I said, go wait outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went up to her and I said, I have to take her now.
Yeah.
And I like if she was still alive, I picked her up and put her in my arms. I wrapped up the blanket. And then I walked outside with him.
Yeah, man.
You know, but
That's
I'll never forget that.
and those type of cases stay with you, and it's not, so people think PTSD as like this thing where you're like, oh, you're twitching and everything, but you bring up an experience like that, and I have very similar experience where I had to remove myself from the scene, go into the car and get your composure, and then go back out there and continue being a professional. So people don't get it. Cops are all robots, and then people, but it takes a toll. You go to a scene. How many you think? Fun question. How many you think over the years? How many crime scenes you've been
I know
to?
it's thousands, but in doing the math, averaging at the city of Miami 4 or 5 calls a day for 30 plus years, and then back as a supervisor, or as a trainer, and now with my new agency, has to be
Thousands.
thousands. Because one year I had
Yeah,
19 homicides as the lead myself, without including the ones I assisted on,
Yeah.
and that's just death calls.
Yeah.
The suicides, the traffic fatalities, and all of
Traffic
that.
fatalities are,
So how
yeah,
many
there's probably
could I have
just as
seen?
many.
40,
traffic-
50, 60 just that year,
Yeah.
plus all the burglaries, all the
Yeah.
bread and butter calls, the
So-
domestic violence calls, the simple batteries.
Yeah. So for a human to take that in is a lot,
Especially,
and
yeah.
and have to deal with it and process it. So I think people in this profession are built very different, very special. They're able to get that. In the beginning, was it hard to adjust and become that? You build almost like a callus over that emotion, to where you connect with it and say, you know what, this is a job. Sometimes you can't disconnect, like what we just spoke about. But sometimes you get there and then you realize, damn, I was on a scene that was pretty bad. When I really think about it, but I'm just going through my training. So
You asked how many calls City of Miami averages 12 crime scene,
Yeah.
12,000 calls a year,
yeah, it's a lot.
divided by 20 people.
Yeah,
Okay, think about that. So I've learned certain things over the years. I had a suicide. Guy has family in from Europe. Family went to Bayside. He shot himself. Well, the family's at Bayside.
Yeah.
When they came back, we're there. So found there's a piece of paper sticking out of this book, and I pull it out. His suicide note.
Ah.
Okay, you read the note. I have to take the note.
yeah,
I have to process it to make sure it's like nobody else's prints, just
Right.
his and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when you start, that was his diary. When you start reading his diary, you realize what a horrible life this person was having.
yeah,
you
yeah,
know? And you read that and you're saying to yourself, I got to stop reading people's journals
yeah,
because I don't want to say we're damaged products or damaged goods, but we're not the average person.
yes,
We're not the average person. We tend to see things a little bit more callous.
yeah,
And it's not because we want to. It's been beaten into us.
yeah. I mean, you have to. Otherwise, how do you do this? How do you do the job? How do you show up on a murder scene and be a professional and handle it without being taken back, going, oh my God, and taking it home and thinking about it at night, and then you can't. You can't. You have to be a professional.
I've only had a handful of those.
Yeah.
But you know who's a good friend of mine that helps me out a lot? Jack Daniels.
He's a good buddy of ever. That guy's a friend of police officers. I can tell you that, and everyone in the profession.
And my kids and my daughter's here in the studio with us now.
Yeah.
They know that when I get in and they see that blank look, it's okay. Dad had probably a baby death or something. And
Yeah.
Time to leave that alone.
Yeah.
Bring down the screen, put on some Starsky and Hutch, and look what police work should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
my favorite channels is Sci-Fi, Western, and the Cartoon Network.
Nothing of reality, right?
Nothing reality.
Yeah.
I don't watch the news. It's
Yeah.
depressing. Or I watch myself on the news.
Yeah.
Right.
On the scene.
That's funny.
I put on the news when there's a storm. There's a storm coming?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. put on the channel, the weather channel.
Yeah.
You know, that's funny because I guess it happens in everybody's household. No one talks about it, but my wife's like, "Oh, let's watch the news." I'm like, "I don't want to watch the news. I am the news." You know, you know what I mean? But she's like, "You're full of yourself." I'm like, no, I'm not saying it that way. I'm just saying that we deal with this every day. I don't want to. This is like taking work home with you, and I don't want to deal with that. Right? I just want to detach.
My wife, I would come home and she was watching Forensic Files.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
she
yeah.
loved what I did.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, please. I don't want to watch Lost in Space, something.
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica. Give me Star Trek.
Let's go.
Star Wars.
Yeah,
We're gonna take a break.
yeah. Star Wars. That's what I would tell people that I was going to a galaxy far, far away. Like,
Absolutely.
I didn't have to
Yeah.
think about it and stuff. And
You see that?
There we go.
He was ready to take a break. I said Star Wars. He's like, no, we're good. We can talk about it.
We can talk about the Darth Vader helmet I have later.
yeah. Well, I
You were talking to the wrong guy. You're talking to the wrong guy. All right.
Let's go give that guy Jack a call.
All right.
And, see what he has to say.
This is
about
our
this
second
topic.
break, right?
Yeah.
So when we come back, there's a special portion where we polled the audience.
Awesome.
And they want to ask you some questions.
Awesome.
And we'll talk about Darth Vader helmets.
Looking forward to it.
And this is my Darth Vader voice. No, I'm just kidding. All right. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Donut Shop's favorite game show, Dumb No Puns, where you've got 3 seconds to gain that pun. I don't care about no Bustelo football pilon all day. Anyone rolls up on me? Roast yourself, fool. If you guessed Mug Life, then you got it. You're a winner. Give yourself a round of applause. Catch you on the next episode of Dumb Mug Puns.
If you're a winner in today's episode, please head over to DonutShopPodcast.com where you can collect your prize. All prizes to be paid for by today's winners.
And we're back.
That's right. We are back. And you might notice that I'm wearing this intimidating trooper hat. Because you have just entered the portion, notice the red lights, of interview and interrogation. Gation.
I'm scared.
We don't have sound effects yet, so that's what we do.
Can you see it?
Make them up.
Yeah.
Can you see it? I'm scared.
First one of season 2. I could see you shaking. All right. This is a portion where we poll the audience. Happened to poll them on Nick Off Duty on Instagram. And we got some questions. They have questions. And I always do this where I'm trying to pull up the questions, but Justin
Has them.
has them already. So he can take the first one, and I'll do the second one.
You like to dance first.
So, yeah. So then I think that's it right now. He's going to ask you the first question.
Yeah. Okay, we went over a couple of them that you'd already covered a few of them during this episode.
Do the first one. Do the first one.
Oh, the first one. Okay.
Yeah.
COOP 27 underscore Coop 27. I don't know how you would pronounce underscore.
Yeah.
Besides a cert in CSI, is there any other classes that could help on the job?
The certification right now is from the International Association of Identification. You can get it through them. But classes that can help you, photography. Plenty of photography. We do stuff like time exposure when we use chemicals like luminol. I like doing time exposure on a dark night where you only might have 2 street lamps really far apart. And a nice time exposure can get the entire scene that your flash won't. Stuff like macro photography. You got to photograph that hair,
Yeah.
that blood spatter with the scale next to it, that very small. You know, I found a little drop found it because I had a magnifying glass playing Sherlock Holmes, and I found a drop of blood on the seatbelt buckle of a car. Photographing that, which is a reflective surface, you need to know photography.
Yeah. Lighting.
So I tell folks, do photography. Learn photography.
It's good. As an amateur photographer, I'm learning some of that stuff, and I do have a macro lens, and it's not just like, oh, I'm just going to pick up a camera and do macro.
Yeah.
And your cell phone doesn't do macro for you.
Oh.
So
I did a macro shot so intense on a dime that you can see the imperfection of the metal. It's not as smooth as you think it is. On a
Oh
dime.
yeah. No, or the mixing of the metals, because it's not just one solid metal. You're up.
Well, congratulations, Matt. Made it past the first one, but let's see if you're ready for the second one.
Go ahead, Troop. Go ahead.
Hold on, it's coming. This one is by at RYLO4. Rilo 4. Do you get pissed when rescue takes the bodies after they're clearly deceased?
That body can be my crime scene. Right? So if you have nothing else, it's my crime scene.
Yeah.
So I remember one day in the north end part of the city, a long time ago, I pulled up. I heard the call go out. Pulled up with patrol. I ran up to the body. The victim looked at me, took his last breath, and died right in front of me. That's
Yeah.
rescue pulled up moments later. You can see he was a senior fireman or paramedic with a rookie. They walked up to the body. They looked at it. The older one looked at the younger one and said, have you ever worked on one of these before? No, never. They picked up the body and took the body with them. And I'm like, hey, guys,
Yeah.
fire rescue took my crime scene. Because there's nothing like working on a real body. I get it. I understand. There's no dummy on the planet.
Oh, so they took it like as a cadaver.
They took it to practice.
To practice CPR, resuscitation. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they took my crime scene.
Do you know what's the rule on that? Do you know the rule? I believe it's no pulse, right? Or no. It's tricky. Everything changes.
We got time for one more story.
Yeah. We love stories
I'm
here.
walking into the station,
Uh-huh.
and out walks a detective, and he said, hey, Heck, good thing you didn't go to that natural that I just went to. The crime scene never went to naturals. Doctor's willing to sign or something.
He's talking about a natural death.
Natural death.
causes.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you get wrapped up in your own
Yes.
jargon that you lose
We
the
gotta
other
do it.
folks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Folks meaning the people listening. Sorry.
so the call went out.
I'm sorry.
yeah.
We have some young listeners like, we know what's folks?
Yeah.
Buddy.
Another gray hair just popped out. Okay.
All right.
So call went out for patrol. Foul odor. Patrol gets there. They called it. It was an apartment. Security bars. So they get the fire department to come out with, I think it's called the K-12 saw.
Yeah. K-12 rescue.
Right down the center of the. Go inside. Break the door down. They walk up to the body and they go. Yeah, she's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? We joked around. It was DRT. Dead right there.
That right there. Is that that's not a
That's not official term.
that's not unofficial
Unofficial.
official term. Okay.
In this case, was a stinker. Meaning the body was smelling really bad.
And another unofficial official term.
Unofficial official term. Right?
A decomp. Somebody who's decomposing emits a foul odor because of decomposition that's going inside. From what I hear.
Those are the rumors.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard on Dexter.
So they get there. Fire department's there. Fire department does the sniff test. She's dead. They leave. Patrol's there. Detective shows up. And the wagon shows up. The wagon are the body removal service. And back then it was a private company. They show up. They pick her up. They put her on the backboard. Pick up the backboard. Put her in the gurney. And she says, hey, what are you doing to me?
Whoa!
I said, good thing I wasn't there. My camera would have been floating in midair like something out of a Bugs Bunny movie or Roadrunner. I would have still been running.
Oh my
Okay.
God!
Ends up, she had gangrene on the leg and took some heavy medication to sleep and didn't hear them coming in through the door, the whole thing. Can you imagine? You're the wagon driving down the road and your body that you just picked up said, hey, where am I going?
Whoa!
Biggest fear in that type of a situation for me.
Or you're that midnight oh my God. Or you're that midnight security guard at the medical examiner's office and you're here from the freezer.
Oh my God!
Hey, where am I?
Goodness!
You ever seen
Sorry
an
if we
Abbott
just
Costello
talked
movie? Costello was amazing. Costello would go as he's driving, he would be crying because like Frankenstein would have shown up or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are old comedians from back in the day. Abbott and Costello. Sorry, we're using. I guess it's different type of jargon.
Another gray one just popped up. I'm aging here quickly, guys.
Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Wow,
great.
That's crazy, man.
So gangrene obviously is what the
rotting flesh?
yeah. So
rot,
the
bad.
essentially part of your body is
So she didn't want to
decomposing.
do anything about it.
Yeah.
And she's
Wow.
in her apartment and the smell's just so bad that the neighbors had a call.
Ooh, that can lead us into the last question on the thing. You want to ask that one?
I'm almost scared about that.
Yeah.
The
The
last
last-
one to the right?
Yeah, the one on the bottom right there.
Okay. All right. So, Toad Am 12.
That's him. To Adam 12.
I'm going to go with Toad Am 12.
Okay.
Have you ever had to burn your clothes after a scene? It's with a C, Adam. Scene due to decomp.
So basically, you walk into a house, stinks so bad it's on your clothes, and you got to burn it.
I've gotten home where my dog didn't want to get near me. And you know, dogs smell all sorts of crazy stuff when they're out in the
Yeah.
street.
So it's true. Your clothes pick up the.
Your clothes,
Ooh.
you smell it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
your
it's
nose,
better
your
to eat
nasal passage.
before your decomp than to eat after the decomp. Because after the decomp and you're eating that Whopper,
Yeah.
you can taste the decomp.
Oh my God. So explain real quick what we're talking about.
We're talking about
You get to a scene. There's
a stinker,
which is essentially is
a decomposing body,
there. You go. That's it.
right?
So you get
Listen,
to.
I had one 2 days ago, mummified.
Wow.
Mummified. Just been dead for over a month.
Oh,
It was
wow,
just,
yeah.
it looked like leathery. You could see right through the person.
Wow.
Okay? I'm at a point in my career, I don't wear a mask.
Yeah.
It's normal. Unfortunately, get a load of me.
Yeah.
Because of COVID and everything going on,
Yeah.
I should be wearing a mask
Yeah.
in some of those scenes. In this case, the smell is so bad. And we should, let me rephrase that. On death scenes where you think you're going to be exposed to blood and stuff, you should be wearing personal protection equipment,
Yeah.
PPE gear,
Yes.
Tyvek suit, that white suit.
Yeah.
Some folks call it the bunny suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw somebody wearing it at Winn-Dixie the other day, afraid of COVID.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
I've seen it. Yep.
Booties, gloves, mask, goggles, protecting yourself, right?
Right.
If it's not a bloody scene, because the person died right there and everything, the fluids are right there, I'll go in, I'll put on some booties or whatever, but that stench is there. You can pull up with a house that's sealed, pull up in your car and smell it through the air conditioning that's seeping into your car.
I've smelled it. That's exactly what happened to me.
You'll never forget that smell. You'll know it smells different than a dead animal. There's a certain odor for a human.
Yeah.
And you could be standing somewhere, go, and say that's an animal. It's not a human.
Yeah.
And recognize it. So you get home. Well, first of all, you're in your car. Windows open.
Yeah.
Okay?
This is after.
This is after the fact.
Yeah.
Windows open. You're trying to get that out of your sinuses. You know,
Coffee
You're in.
beans or something.
you know that stuff that I've seen it on TV where they put Vicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried that once. All that did was open up my sinuses, and I was
Yeah.
able to smell it better.
Yeah.
Okay. The mask with the cologne.
Yeah.
Oh, it smells great for the first 5 minutes. Then it's a
Yeah.
perfumed body that's
Yeah.
decomposing.
Yep.
Put on a mask to filter what you can. Handle the body.
Yeah.
Do what you need to. Now, you get home, I'll call ahead and I'll say, keep a bag by the front door. And at the front door, I'm going down to my skivvies. My dog will be standing in the other side of the room like, hey, I love you, but not today.
Yeah.
When a dog doesn't come running up to you, there's a reason,
Yeah.
right? Put everything in there. My laundry room is right next to my front door. It's the door next. It stays there and straight into the shower.
Yeah.
And you just let it soak, and you wash and wash and wash, and you never feel clean because you still smell it.
Still smell
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, so I haven't burned my clothes. You know, there's detergents out there. I wanted to.
Yeah.
My dog even offered me a match one day.
Here you go.
You do this after you go to the bathroom. So.
Even the kids, you walk, the family's like, Dad, we love you, but not necessarily right now.
Oh.
Curious, do you guys, because you said you have a network of people when you meet them on trainings, do you guys share that? Like, hey, does anybody have any solutions to that? Or is like, I'm not going to talk about that because it's going to make me look soft? Or is it like, hey, anyone got any tricks of that or no?
We don't even talk about that
Yeah, I
anymore.
knew it. I knew it.
It's
Because like, look at this guy. Can't do his job. Mr. Sensitive knows.
I love dealing with new officers,
Yeah.
right? Because they walk in and they all want to. I've never thrown up. I've never gagged. At first, I wore that mask until I realized the mask is keeping the odor inside.
Yeah.
So I love watching them throw up. And you walk up to them like they're little kids, and like a pet. You're petting them. You'll be okay, little trooper. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
You'll be okay.
So you take your clothes off as soon as you're getting to the door of your house. However,
You don't know what you're carrying.
I heard a story on break
Uh-oh.
about you on a scene, and it wasn't from you. It was from somebody who's in the studio behind that you brought along. That maybe you started taking your clothes off on the scene of a crime scene one time. Something might have jumped on you. You got the heebie-jeebies. Tell us about the heebie-jeebies. What happened?
Let's start off with, for the non-Floridians, what a palmetto bug is.
Yeah, let's show them the size. There you go.
Yeah.
It's iPhone 11.
Yeah, Max,
iPhone
12 Pro Max.
12 Pro Max.
They're big. It's
Yeah.
a roach like this big that flies.
Yeah, it's on steroids.
Okay?
Yeah,
When they land, you hear them
yeah,
land.
yeah.
So I'm on a homicide scene, and it was a nasty scene. Not because it was a fresh kill.
Yeah,
I mean, to sound really horrible.
yeah.
But it was a dirty house. Mm-hmm. And this palmetto bug fell off the ceiling into my polo shirt.
The thing is that you're on the scene with a tucked-in shirt,
yes.
so it's in there. It ain't coming
And
out.
you feel it running around, doing laps. And I start taking off my uniform. And the first 48 hours was filming.
Oh my god!
I'm opening my pants and everything, and this thing just flew out. And I'm standing there with my shirt up, the belt in my hand. I look at the camera. I said, "Oh, God, please don't put this on TV."
Oh, man, that would have been great.
And, there are times that I wish they would have made a blooper episode.
Yeah.
But he said, no, we can't because it has to portray the department positive.
Yeah.
But I was like,
agreement.
oh, thank God.
Oh,
and
man.
I'm getting dressed and people walking by looking at me. And I'm like, I'll be sitting in my car for a little while, just kind of.
Yeah. No, yeah. If you're not from South Florida, these things are real. You can't kill them with a shoe. They're gonna. Hey, man, what are you doing, bro? Why'd you hit me with that? That's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wing comes up and goes.
You can hear them.
Yeah.
You hear them.
Yeah.
This cover for your mic, it's
Yeah.
about the size of that.
Oh,
medium.
Speaking of first episode with these new covers,
Check out those new flashes.
shout
Very
out to my
professional.
boy, Officer Jay, coming through.
Yeah, they're very cool.
Yeah.
Pro.
Good.
It's just in case you didn't know who was talking on the mic. Now you can really see.
Yeah.
I mean, not that the shirts gave it away, but
or the
Oh, the sign.
or the sign behind
Or
it.
the watermark in the video.
well, you know what? If these people are interested in crime scene work, your audience,
Uh-huh.
you should have been observant and noticed.
Ooh. With that, I'll
if we
take a
ever-
sip of the mug.
If we ever go out in the field, we can use these to interview people.
Yeah. All right. Last one. Oh, sorry.
You got it.
We're gonna get back to your TV shows. This one is from Robrania _4. I don't know if that's correct. Here we go. Was the outlining of a body actually a thing? And if so, who would clean up the chalk? See, was that good? Was that good?
No, that was horrible. But okay.
So you see in the movies the chalk that goes around the body, and then so was that actually a thing?
We never did that.
Uh-huh.
We haven't done it down in South Florida.
Yeah.
I came up to a scene once. A patrol officer had outlined the body,
Wow.
and I was upset. You're adding to the scene.
Yeah.
Don't add to my scene.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this, and then I go, okay, so where's the gun? And he had disassembled the firearm, put it in a Ziploc bag, and gave it to me. And I was like, listen, for this, I'll give you my camera. You handle this because I don't want my name on any report. We never did that.
Okay.
And think about this. If it's a real bloody scene that this person's a pool of blood, how are you going to sketch it out?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I've had them where, and it's decomposing, where they pop,
Yeah.
and it's a large pile of just goop.
Yeah.
No, we don't do that. We don't do that.
So
Maybe they did it like before.
That's what I was gonna say. Where'd that
before-
come from?
'cause,
That-
like, cameras have been portable for a while, whether the size of the camera and
Yeah.
stuff. So you can take click, click, click. You've got the position of the body. and it eventually, all right, it's going to move around. And then, like, when you come back. So they at least wanted to see, because all chalk lines looked almost the exact same. It was the,
yeah.
you know, like walk
That's
like an Egyptian or something,
Egyptian.
you know. So it's like, well, we need the positioning of the person, you know.
It might be relevant
Yeah.
in the
Maybe, I
investigation
don't
later,
know,
but
man. Yeah, it's just early.
Oh, how about
Who
this?
knows?
Maybe not. This is
Yeah,
dumb.
you
I
know
was
what?
gonna
Maybe
say-
it's a movie.
Yeah, it's just a movie.
Only
maybe
in
during the
cartoons.
Flintstones they did it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
On a cave wall.
I'm sure television made it worse because
Yeah.
imagine the Hollywood
Yeah.
of watching you coming up and here's the body. The body was here.
Yeah.
We didn't do it. There may be agencies somewhere that do it.
Yeah,
We don't.
maybe they did.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. It's for the camera, you know, like that. Yeah.
But as far as picking
Nice.
up the goop later, because we take the body, we're not interested in the brain matter left behind and the blood and tissue. There are companies out there that'll come and clean that for you.
All right. That was going to be one of my questions in the next segment, but you got ahead of me on that one. Well, with that being said, congratulations!
That was horrible also.
But it'll sound great in the edit.
You made it past the interview and interrogations portion of the podcast. We're going to take a break, put these lights back to a cool blue because it's hot inferno red. And we'll be right back after these messages.
We'll be back. Hey, come here. Come here. No, bring it in real close. I got something for you. Did you subscribe yet? Right down there. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification, because you got to know when we're going to give you a show. Do it. Go now. Go now. I'm waiting. Come on. Right there. All right, back to the show.
All right.
Hey, we're back.
Thanks for bringing us back, Jay. It's cooler, blue lights. Sorry, that was my alter ego. That was Trooper Nick.
It was intimidating.
I apologize for that guy. He can be a little harsh at times. Ask some tough questions.
He
Right,
does.
Jay?
Yeah, he does.
By the way, Jay, I love the new flashers. The mug. Great. And what's that you're wearing on your chest there, Jay?
Donut Shop Podcast polos coming sooner or later.
Sooner or later. They're a prototype right now. Okay. Just saying. Season 2, new stuff. All right. Well, we got a lot of aspiring police officers out here listening to the podcast in their cars right now. They probably are police officers. Maybe they get this advice and they could heed your warning. Okay? And maybe some future officers are listening and they can go, ha, I learned that on the Donut Shop podcast. I'm not going to do that. Give me the worst thing an officer can do on a crime scene. Get your advice when you show up and you're just like, idiot.
Put your hands in your damn pocket.
Put your hands in your pockets.
Lee, don't touch anything. If you're calling me out,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be touching anything.
Okay.
Nothing.
All right.
Okay? I have had officers, I understand officer safety, crime scene safety.
Yes.
If there's a firearm on the scene, you got to be careful it's not stolen or used against you.
Yeah.
I get it. Take the firearm, put it in the trunk of your car,
Uh-huh.
close the trunk. It's safe.
Mm-hmm.
I've had them where they have disassembled the firearm, put into a Ziploc bag, and then give it to me.
The guy you just spoke about. You
Yeah.
just spoke about that guy. He made it twice already. You know that guy did. He messed up. It's right here in his brain because he
Oh
said
my-
it twice already.
And you know what? This is what happens. How
Yeah.
do we know that firearm was working?
At the time. Because
At
when
the
you
time.
put it back together, you may fix whatever, maybe a malfunction. Yeah. Oh.
Absolutely correct.
This guy's good, huh?
Hey.
This guy's good. I have him for a reason. This guy's good.
Jeez. We can't have him give all the answers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had one give me a casing without gloves or anything. Give me
Uh-huh.
a casing and say, "Here, start the chain of custody." And I went, "No." Chain of custody started from wherever you got it or wherever it came from.
Uh-huh.
I can't print that. I can't DNA that. Don't touch it. If you need to, put on some gloves, put into something clean. If I'm not coming out.
Yeah.
You know, there's something that we used to call the Holy Shit Brigade.
Oh, it flies in Avengers. We could say that here.
Okay?
Yeah.
Holy Shit Brigade.
It's the HSB.
You know what happens with the Holy Shit Brigade?
What's that?
So you have a crime scene.
Uh-huh.
Here comes all the bosses. And they all walk
Oh,
through your
yeah.
scene going, "Holy shit, look at that. Holy shit, look at that."
Hey, Commissioner, come over here. Take
Yeah.
a look.
Yes.
Yeah.
And all they're doing is stepping on your scene, scattering your evidence. Now your one shoe print is 20.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
So,
Well, holy
it
shit.
happens to the best
The,
of us.
the HSB.
HSB.
It's happened to the best. I've stepped on brains. I've sat on blood.
Uh-huh.
Brains are very slippery on the sidewalk.
I would imagine.
You got to be careful.
Yeah.
If you're calling me out, don't touch anything.
Okay.
Just secure it.
All right.
If you need to stand over that gun, stand over that gun. You
That's
know?
a thing where they should have more training, because there's no one answer to every scenario. You can't say you should do this always, because always doesn't apply to police work and crime scenes. Now, if it's an active scene, it's an active shooter, you're there and there's more things happening and you have to leave, but there's people walking around and you're in a mall or something. Well, yeah, you got to secure it. You got to
Absolutely.
No, but if that firearm is in a house, in a room, there's only one person and they're deceased, clearly. Why don't we just, we can watch, make sure no one goes in there, but why are we taking it out of the crime scene?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
One more story.
Go, yeah, we love stories here. We love stories.
So, Buddy and I show up to a suicide. Okay? Female that shot herself. Females don't normally shoot themselves.
Right.
Okay? And men tend to suicide more than women. Those
That's-
are the statistics.
Hey, you guys talking facts. Facts over
So,
feelings, baby.
We pull up to the scene. It was mine. And the patrol officer takes out a bright pink piece of paper with bright blue writing on it, and that's where he had done his notes. I didn't pay much attention to it. When we get to the room, I go, "Where's the victim?" Well, she was still twitching, so she was transported. Okay. Where's the gun? For officer safety, I put it inside that bag. It was a grocery bag. I opened it up. It was a revolver. Revolver had been opened, the rounds dumped, and a bright blue pen was put through the cylinder. Okay? Let's start off with this alone. First of all, we don't know if the spent casing was underneath the hammer. So we don't know if the firearm had been tampered with.
Yeah.
It could have been murder.
Yeah.
We don't know this now.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm just standing there looking at this bag, and my buddy goes, "Hey, Heck, yeah, come over there." The suicide note is written on bright pink paper with bright blue ink. What the officer did was raise the suicide note and take the sheet underneath that has the impression on it to write his notes, and then use the pen to make it safe.
So the same pen that she wrote with, he made it,
Yes.
or she made it safe.
Yes.
So
So this officer that will remain nameless, part of City Miami,
I don't
both
know that
officers
agency.
that were there were sons of sergeants.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
They asked me not to tell their father.
Oh my god.
How long ago? This is a long time ago.
This had to be 15 years ago, man.
Yeah, revolvers.
Well, I'm a wheel gun person.
Yeah,
I like revolvers.
yeah.
Don't mess with my scene.
The speed loaders.
They took the body, leave the gun alone.
Yeah.
If the person you're worried, I understand that. Take the gun, put it in the trunk of your car.
Yeah.
You know, open the night table, put it on the night table and close it, and tell me when I get there, listen, I left it alone.
Yeah.
I had a follow-up scene, another scene like a couple of weeks later. I pulled up, another shooting. He saw me, and he said, "I didn't touch shit." He got in his car and left.
The point was taken.
I just stayed on scene, just so you know.
You know how you
do
said
it.
that I got a little on the...
And I never said it. I never said it again. You see? You have that effect on people. Huh?
Yeah.
All right. So there's a word of advice. What the officer said, don't touch anything. I didn't touch explicit poop.
Yeah. So when he says keep
Don't
your
touch
hands in
it.
your pocket, once everything's secured, just put your hands in your pocket. Don't leave your DNA. Don't leave your fingerprints on anything.
A crime
That's what he
scene's
means.
worst enemy is us.
Yeah.
Fire. And they're preserving life, so I understand.
Yeah.
Us and...
And then the HFD.
Everyone has their priority, like their function, right? So fires, like they'll trample over everything. They don't care. They're cutting clothes because they're trying to preserve this life. Police is like they'll push things out of the way. We're preserving safety. Make sure no one has a gun, so they don't care. And then crime scene is like, don't touch anything. So
You know, I did a training class for correction officers because they get a lot of rapes and batteries
yeah.
in prison, and they were asking. We had to do a crime scene class on how to preserve a scene, and these guys are sitting there. These officers, because they were both male and female. These officers, correction officers, are sitting there saying, "None of what you're telling us can apply. we need to secure it, get everybody out, collect what we can, because it might be 2 of us with 50 inmates.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a different monster.
So I understand in
Crazy.
fire rescue, listen, they're preserving life. That's more important than anything else that we're doing.
Absolutely.
They'll find the bullet hole and start cutting from right there.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at these pants. I'm like this. I'm going, where
Yeah.
is the bullet hole?
Yeah. They cut right down the
They
middle.
cut right down the middle. I mean, I understand.
Yeah.
That's where the wound is.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
Yeah, not their fault.
Yeah.
But
So-
I get there. My job is totally different than theirs, than yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is while you're preserving the scene, you're not preserving it good enough for me.
All right.
You have a decomposing body, and you left all the doors open in a house that was 60 degrees when you walked into it. Thank
I've
you
never
very
had
much.
an officer mess with a decomposed body.
Oh, there you go. All right. So, with that being said, let's flip it. What makes good qualities of crime scene investigators? What are some good qualities that you must have, and then be like, oh, that guy's good, or that girl, they're good. They know what they're doing.
Patience.
Patience.
Being able to look, observe, and then be able to take all of that you absorbed and put it in paper. Put it on paper.
Yeah.
But patience, because we've become a society of instant gratification.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cameras,
Yeah.
right? We were talking about cameras a little while ago.
Yeah.
You can push a button now.
Yeah.
When I started, you had to send it to the lab and wait 3 days
The film.
for it to
Right.
get back,
Yeah.
to get the film, or little 2x3s or something like that, little kind of proofs.
Yeah.
You couldn't see anything on them. So we've become a society where you take a photograph and everybody has a camera now.
Yeah.
Push a button, see it, enlarge it.
Enlarge it.
But now, you still need that. You still need that patience. When you get to the homicide scene, it's not going to get solved in the next 10 minutes. You can't push a button. You need to be able to stand there, look, and experience kicks in a lot.
Yeah.
Listen, Sherlock Holmes was a fictional character, one of my favorite characters. I was watching him last night, The Hound of the Baskervilles with Basil Rathbone.
There you go.
I'm a big Basil Rathbone fan. You got to be able to stand there and look at something and understand it, be able to interpret it. And that happens with experience. Don't tell me you're here 2 weeks and you're going to solve this by standing at the doorway and looking at it.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to smack you upside the head with hair flying through the air. And I'm going to say, boy, get to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to look for latents. We need to look for DNA. We need to look for transfer. We need to look for blood spatter, voids. Look for where there is no blood. That'll tell you just as much as where there is blood.
Because something may have been there and may have been moved or may have left. Yeah.
Whoa! We got some experience there, man. Look at that, bro. Woo! Took a class or two, huh?
Hey, I got a job for you.
There you go.
I watched all the seasons of Dexter.
All right. Which you talked a little bit about this last thing I wanted to talk about, and I know since I've been on, and it's, I'm going on and rolling into my 15th year, but technology from when I started, I know changed through in police work, right? We got different tasers, the implementation of body cameras, GPS, all kinds of stuff has changed. I can imagine things have changed. Can you talk a little bit about the technological differences from back when you started, when I was 3, up until now, and then
He beat me to the punchline. I said, back when you were 3?
Yeah, that's part of it. Is you always gotta kill all of those. You got it's like
you have 0 angles.
I was walking here with a walker, getting older by the minute.
So, and then moving forward, when you're really, really, really old, what do you see in the future? What's coming for CSI?
I see your death. I told my son once, he was messing with me, I'm going to stab you 54 times in the back and prove it was a suicide. And he said, are you that good? I said, is that a challenge?
Oh
When
man!
I started, we had an anhydrine, which is to get prints off of paper and porous surfaces. We had
Okay.
super glue. And back then, if you wanted to get a print using a laser, the laser was the size of a room. Okay?
Yeah,
There was like one in South Florida. Now, each one of our vans has what we call an alternate light source, ALS. It's kind of a make-believe laser,
uh huh.
different light frequencies. Imagine I'm bringing what took a room into
Yeah.
a briefcase now
Yeah.
on scenes. All I need is power. The vans have inverters
Yeah.
that our old cars didn't. So I can even run an extension cord from my van.
There you go.
The technology itself, the cameras have, I mean, it's amazing. We were talking about this earlier. We went from film, well, let's talk before me.
Yeah.
They went from a Polaroid,
Taking
Yeah.
Polaroids and
right?
Yeah.
Change the bulb,
Yeah. Get under the
Get under-
hood of the.
pile of gunpowder.
to film,
Yeah.
to, we have officers. We had an incident that we were helping FHP with a city vehicle involved, and he was photographing the scene with an iPad.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought of that
Yeah.
10 years ago,
Yeah.
right? Who would have thought of that?
Yeah.
How much more has it changed? DNA. When I started, you could blood type, right?
Yeah.
It was blood types, and then it broke down to the subcategories, to now the DNA, to a point that these microphones we're talking into, I can get all of our DNA off of the foam covers, of the wind covers. To they can get it down to 1 in like 20 billion.
Yeah. So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah, like-
so you can narrow it down sometimes to sex of the individual, and maybe hereditary or like race. Sometimes
Yes.
you might be able to grab because of certain markers and stuff in the DNA.
Correct.
This guy took a couple courses, man. Or Dexter.
Yeah.
No. What am I watching? Manifest.
Manifest.
Manifest right now. Yeah.
Before, if you had DNA overlapping DNA, they can tell you it's mixed. We can't give you an answer.
Uh-huh.
Now they can break it down. I mean, the concept.
Yeah.
You watch Star Trek.
Yeah.
I know we were talking about Star
Yeah,
Wars,
yeah.
but Star Trek was more
Same thing. Yeah. Sciencey.
sciencey.
More science based.
And they come in with a tricorder.
Yeah.
I see a print here. I see DNA here.
Yeah.
And then they put it in a computer and they give you a holographic image of the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in my lifetime. Maybe my grandchildren's lifetime. They're going to see stuff that I'm going to sit back in my rocking chair with my cane going. I'm going to solve a lot of cases with that.
Yeah.
Is that
Right,
you?
right.
Is that you messing with your teeth, or is that chewing? Are you chewing something?
He's trying to put his teeth back in.
I don't know.
Today, we just saw the space flight.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just took.
Reusable airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they or like 3D printers and stuff like that to do like a Star Trek technology. 3D printers. Okay, we're gonna make little things and stuff. We were just watching a video. I was just watching a video on Facebook where they're 3D printing a boat hull, and it's just moving along. And it's like a full boat, not like a kayak, like a full boat hull. And it's like, all right, here's your full boat hull, and then off we go. It's start putting the parts in, and then off we go.
I think I read somewhere that they have it at the space station, so in case they need an emergency part, they can create.
Oh yeah.
So-
because there's no Amazon up there.
So
He's going.
coming
Yeah.
back out of space and coming back to Earth. With all this technology, right? And you have facial recognition technology today, and we were talking about 3D landscaping
Scans and
of the crime scene. I think it's going to be extremely tough to try to get away with some kind of scene. Not saying that there's not going to be crime, because there's, heat of the moment. They're in the moment. Something happens. The gunshots, the anger. There's always going to be anger for something. But it should be a lot easier to find out who done it. Would you say that, being an expert? I'm just saying it should be. You say yes, you are correct. You could say it. I know.
The probability is that we're going to catch you.
Uh-huh.
You have the possibility of getting away with it,
Right.
okay? Because you can never say 100% of anything.
Of
But it's
course.
getting a lot tougher, a lot harder. When there's a crime now, what's the first thing everybody does? They go to all these cameras all these homes have in front of them.
Yeah.
Everybody has a ring.
Yeah.
I walked my dog the other day. I went the block behind me. I counted 6 ring cameras.
Yeah.
The rings.
Yeah.
I have it in my house now.
Yeah.
My
So-
Tesla.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So-
Pulling
so-
over on the side of the highway to go to the bathroom now, you think twice. Like, wait a minute.
Like, somebody's watching.
Am I gonna be on only in Dade? What's happening here? I'm on 95, by the way, on the highway. I'm in the express lanes. Like really gotta go.
Guaranteed to be on a date.
Can you get away with it?
Yeah.
Are you going to get away with it? Chances are you're not going to. You're going to leave something behind.
Yeah.
You're going to leave something behind.
And then it's up to the way that you processed the scene and filed everything, and you went by the letter of the law to make sure that this guy's prosecuted. And there's no little loopholes that they found. You know, at the defense finds a loophole or something like your boy Cosby that just got out of prison. You know, after all that evidence, but it was a loophole. You know, they did something we weren't supposed to do, and he got released. So, as long as we follow that letter of the law, I think it's gonna be really hard.
And before it was all eyewitness testimony.
Yeah.
It was what a witness said, which was always issues with witnesses and stuff like that, and IDing somebody. So, but now your witnesses are a digital file from a camera
Yeah.
that shows almost clear as our eyeballs what that is. So you no longer need that person in the middle,
Yeah.
the human brain interpreting the image. You've got to, hey, we're going to show this to the jury.
Yeah.
You know,
Why don't you tell us what happened? How about this? How about I show you what happened?
yeah.
I'll show you.
Boom.
Yeah. Rather than having to hear that story, and then the defense attorney's able to discredit that witness. No, discredit this video.
Yeah.
Like,
You're nodding your
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're nodding your head yes. I know you're the subject matter expert here. The SME. So are we right? Or are we just talking out of our butts
No,
right
you're
now?
right.
All right.
You're right. I think, again, 10 years ago, you really thought the technology was going to be here
Yeah.
where we had this science.
Yeah.
I mean, we have stuff now that I never thought was possible.
I mean, I
And
thought the iPhone was blowing it away before, and I'll turn on my iPhone, my first iPhone, and I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But
BlackBerry with a
that
little
was
ball in
just-
the middle.
Yeah.
That was just, and that was only a few years ago, kind of.
Yeah.
Thing. So it's you know.
I could imagine the way that we're going to implement these new technologies into police work is going to make it a lot easier, especially for the investigation part, the crime scene processing and everything.
You know, it's the newer generation has to be more tech savvy.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm not. It's just a little hard. I remember installing my first cassette player in my 1971 Ford, and my dad said, "Why do you need FM cassette? I'm happy with my AM."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And now my Corvette didn't even have a CD player. It was an MP3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
And now
only
MP3 is like
Bluetooth.
MP3.
Yeah, yeah.
What is that, old
That's
MP3?
old.
Yeah.
Streaming.
We're streaming now. This guy with his MP3. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. MP3 was just yesterday.
But technology ultimately is going to always have its flaws, and there's going to be you got to have a strong base of the original stuff to be able to utilize it as
Yeah.
a backup.
Yeah.
Well, it goes back to the DNA. They can't tell you it's absolute. They can tell you it's one out of X amount of billion people,
Which is pretty good.
which is, there's only 7 or 8 billion people on planet Earth, and they're past that and
Yeah.
telling you that it's this person.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, I think this was a very informative show, a very informative podcast. If you didn't walk away with something from this podcast, then you need to re-listen again because there was there was a lot of information going on.
Yeah.
So much information that I know we just scratched the surface and left some kind of DNA, right? What is that called when we scratch this? What kind of DNA was
Touch
that?
DNA.
There we go. We did touch DNA. We just did a little bit, and there's plenty more. So we would love to have you back on the show if you would be our guest. We only have enough in the budget to give you one mug, so please bring back your mug when you come back.
And I'll bring my buddy Jack with me.
There you go. Bring your buddy Jack. Heck, it is an honor to have you on the show, man. You are a legend. Thank you so much. And I will never say ID tech or ID. Yeah, I won't say that ever again. Thank you.
Not in jest.
54 times in the back, buddy.
With that being said, thank you guys for listening.
And buy your mugs at donutshopodcast.com. Bye.
Oh, wait, before we leave, you said you're going to have a podcast soon.
I'm hoping by the end of summer,
Uh-huh.
I'm to have one called CSI, It's Your Scene.
Nice.
It's in how to process crime scenes and the technology behind it, including, if I get called out, I'll be doing on a little voice recorder, digital recorder, what I'm going through and what I'm seeing and,
Oh, cool.
and stuff like that.
So-
you'll get called out with me.
When you're up and running, you let us know. We will let our listeners and viewers and people that
Thank
are
you.
listening on the toilet
Share it.
know so they can hop on over there and check it
Thank
out.
you. All those new CSIs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right, my brother.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Cheers.
Later.
Calling all units, calling all units. Donut Shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.